we're already coming into that time of year now where people are starting to drown and have accidents out in the mountainsides too, going for hikes and things like that in British Columbia. Well, it's a quick time to talk about a couple of things that happened this week, couple incidents, and use them as reminders for ourselves going forward about some of the dangers that happen in this province. Of course, people think of the ultimate danger in the woods of British Columbia being the bears, but actually it's pretty rare to have a fatal bear encounter, while 75 people might drown this year in the lakes and rivers in BC. While we had a number of avalanche deaths this winter. It was kind of a down year, which is an up year, really. It was a fewer deaths this year than usual, so that was nice. Often, we average around 10 a lot of years. Lightning strikes that kill people, 10, sometimes 150 people on average are injured, I guess, every year. Seriously injured, I should say. Right. Falls, trips, things in the bush happen, right? There's a lot of things that kill people out there. Hypothermia is another one. So let's talk about this week's incidents. Young man drowned off of the shoreline of Vancouver. And then we also have a hiker who went missing, took a fall, it seems like. So all that and more on Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube channel. There it is. This is bad news.
My God. Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later. Hey, try mopping this. Hit like, share, and subscribe if you would. It helps me keep this YouTube channel alive. Helps me keeping content flowing while I'm out of off season here still a little while longer. Yes. Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube, lots of summer videos coming up for you. We're still waiting for snow to melt here, but the adventures will start soon. I guarantee you that much. Anyways, let's not talk about my adventures. Let's talk about these misadventures. Wreck Beach drowning victim has been identified now as a 26-year-old international student. And I think it was Thursday he went missing.
At Wreck Beach has been identified by family as a 26-year-old international student. Rahul Ranwa drowned last Thursday at Wreck Beach. A bystander attempted to rescue him but couldn't and had to return to shore. Following an extensive search, the victim's body was found Friday afternoon near Third Beach. Ranwa arrived in Canada last year and was studying at Vancouver Community College. A GoFundMe page has been set up for funeral costs and to help his parents pay off his student debt.
So that's a pretty sad story, Rahul Ranwa. And he was found by Third Beach, which is some distance away, actually. Third Beach is. It's quite a distance away, actually. We'll throw daily temperature in there right now. It's 11°C right now, reporting at Vancouver International Airport. So go have a look in here at, more or less the location somewhere off Wreck Beach here is where he went missing. And then he was found up over Third Beach is somewhere up here, I believe. It's one of these ones out here. So like he went a ways. Yeah, I mean, this is sad. 10 Celsius sea temperature. You think, 10 C, that's pretty warm, right? Is it? Is it that warm? Well, let's have a look at this. The National Center for Cold Weather Safety has this web article. Why cold water is dangerous. Cold shock and swimming failure can cause you to drown in a matter of seconds. Many people who are classed as good swimmers appear to be unable to swim distances as little as 6 or 10 feet in cold water, even to save their lives, says Golden and Tipton in the Essentials of Sea Survival. So this is called sudden drowning, right? Few people realize that water between 50 to 60 Fahrenheit, 10 to 15.5 C can kill you in less than a minute. It's actually so dangerous that a lot of people within seconds. Not because of hypothermia or incapacitation, but rather cold shock and swimming failure. Thousands of people have drowned after falling into cold water, and a lot of them died before they had a chance to reach the surface. Because if you gasp when your head is underwater, you'll drown. There are scientific and medical facts that most people have trouble appreciating because they have no experience being in really cold water. The muscles contract sometimes in the cold water after a while. Many people also drown within minutes because their arms become too cold to continue swimming and they aren't wearing a life jacket. There's a 9-minute long video here explaining why cold shock swimming failure. You can always come to this article here yourself. Google it if you like. So people don't think cold water is dangerous sometimes. It doesn't look that dangerous at all. If it was a predator, we'd say it was perfectly well camouflaged. And yeah, nice, beautiful, 52-degree Fahrenheit water, beautiful. simply because they mentally compare it to cold air and reach a completely mistaken conclusion that there isn't any difference between cold air and cold water. It's very easy to mistake this and it gets people killed each year because when it comes to cold stress, water is very different than air. Water feels colder than air. So 7C air feels cold, but 7C water feels like it's burning your skin. Why is that? It's because water is much greater density than air, first of all, so it conducts heat from your body much faster. Here's an example of how density affects the way a cold object feels. The hammer test. So let's say you forgot a hammer on your back porch and it's 35 Fahrenheit, 1.6 C outside. The hammer has a wooden handle and a steel head. When you go outside and pick it up, the handle certainly feels a little cold, but not nearly as cold as the steel. In fact, if it's -5 Fahrenheit, -20 Celsius, you can pick up the hammer by the handle with your bare hands. But if you touch the steel, your skin may instantly freeze to it. So density is why water feels so much colder than air. It's also why your body responds differently to 10 degrees Celsius air than it does to 10-degree water. With very few exceptions, immersion in cold water is immediately life-threatening for anyone not wearing thermal protection. When cold water makes contact with your skin, cold shock causes an immediate loss of breathing control. The result is a very high risk of sudden drowning, even if the water is calm and you know how to swim. The danger is greater if the water is rough. In rough water, the inability to coordinate your breathing with a wave splash greatly increases the danger of inhaling some water. Gradual drowning. Okay, so in this case, cold water drowning can happen immediately, but it can also take a fairly long time, a gruesome, drawn-out process in which small amounts of water are inhaled over and over again until your lungs become so waterlogged you suffocate. Inhaling about 150 milliliters of water is enough to cause drowning. That's not very much. Heart failure and stroke, skin, blood vessels constrict in response to sudden cooling. Cold water immersion causes an instantaneous and massive increase in heart rate and blood pressure. In vulnerable individuals, it increases the danger of heart failure. So this article goes on, right? Take a little bit of a lighter side here for a second. Tugboat brings in BC ferry after mechanical failure on busy Easter weekend. So, here's one reason I don't ever want to live on the island, because I'm kind of afraid of the ocean. It's cold. And I know I couldn't swim very long in it before cold shock gets me, and having to rely on a boat to get back and forth and pay for it too. So hopefully it was returned to service on Monday afternoon. A hiker died after a fall on Mount Seymour. North Shore rescue is confirmed. People should be extra careful in the mountains at this time of year. A 28-year-old woman has died after falling several hundred meters in BC while out camping with a friend, according to North Shore Rescue. Search and rescue team said they responded Saturday morning after a 911 call was placed. Search manager Stan Sovdat said the pair had camped overnight near Pump Peak, an area less than 20 kilometers northeast of downtown Vancouver. He said the snow had frozen overnight, creating slippery conditions. Typically, the snow is very soft in the sunshine, then overnight it drops to freezing and the snow really firmed up. So that's an example where you just got to sometimes sit still and wait for the snow to change condition. It will in the afternoon, right? This is sad stories. These are really sad stories. I find these both very sad. The 28-year-old had reportedly dropped her phone and slipped while trying to retrieve it. A helicopter was dispatched with several rescuers, but poor visibility in the mountain prevented a landing. So a ground team was deployed. The initial group went up and met the friend and got a better fix on the direction. They confirmed Saturday afternoon that she'd been located and extended condolences. They said no further details are released at the time because of privacy. North Shore was busy last week, responding to several incidents near Cypress Mountain involving slips and falls on icy slopes. Sovdat says one of these incidents also began with a dropped item, which was a ski, that led to multiple people falling and sustaining significant injuries. We'll look at that in a sec here, too. So take spring conditions on the mountain seriously, everybody. Understand the slopes are not safe during the day. You get solar warming and the potential for avalanches, and overnight things are freezing up there. Here's some more from North Shore Rescue on April 14th they put out. They responded to multiple serious injury calls in North Shore backcountry. The common denominator was slips, falls on icy north and west-facing snow, rapidly gaining speed on the steep terrain, and some combination of falls over cliffs and hard impacts against trees. The injuries we had to address, they said, were significant and included head injuries, internal injuries, broken bones, and copious loss of skin. Ooh, this will be a lengthy summary, as they say. A group of 5 skiers went out of bounds at Cypress and quickly got into trouble on steep, icy, north-facing snow. One of the group slipped, fell, and slid a noteworthy distance down steep terrain before hitting and becoming wrapped around a large tree. Given the seriousness of the injuries, condition, as reported by others in the group, NSR immediately launched a helicopter rescue team, which included 2 of our advanced medical providers, ER physicians who are also wilderness medicine specialists, avalanche specialists, and helicopter rescue techs. Inserted into the scene by helicopter hoist, the NSR crews needed ice axes and foot traction to safely climb up to the subject's location. They assessed and treated the unconscious subject before packaging her. As that rescue was ongoing, crews rescued another member of the same group who'd fallen into and become stuck into a tree well elsewhere on the slope. She was extracted and helicoptered out to the parking lot. Oh boy. Before sunrise on Sunday, NSR responded to mutual aid with South Fraser on an urban search for a missing child. That had 100 SAR members from teams across the lower mainland, and the child was located. They were alerted about a man and a dog who had gone over a cliff in the Cypress Creek area. They were reported to be uninjured but were stuck. West Van Fire were able to attend to that call and rescue them. Still on Sunday morning, North Shore responded for a skier, again on the northwest aspect of Strachan, Christmas Gully, who had slipped on the icy snow, slid a tremendous distance down the steep slope, including cliff falls, and was unconscious. The skier had been trying to retrieve a ski that their partner had lost at the top of a slope, but was not able to ski the steep, slippery conditions. The second skier, now walking in their ski boots, went to look for skier 1, saw him motionless on the lower slope, and tried to climb down to him, but fell and started sliding, ultimately suffering lower body injuries higher up the slope. The 911 call came from bystanders, not even from the people, who'd been hiking up Christmas Gully, having their own difficulties in the slippery conditions. They were self-rescuing and dealing with some significant injuries of their own when suddenly the first subject came tumbling down, unconscious, toward them from above. Once again, North Shore responded with helicopter rescue techs, including avalanche experts and 2 AMPs, physicians and medicine specialists. Crews assessed the subject and began treatment on scene. A third AMP and other personnel arrived by chopper, and together they worked on the first and the second subject. Given the first condition, the decision was made to transport him directly by rescue chopper to the rooftop of Vancouver Gen for further advanced medical care. Readers of these task debriefs may recall this option has recently been made available for life and limb situations. Man, this goes on. Like, this is quite the weekend. As that was wrapping up, another skier roughly in the same area had slipped, fallen. They'd been off their snowboard at the top of the slope, taking photos at the top of the slope, and slid, impacted trees with significant lower body injuries. Rescue crews were able to spot him from helicopter. Insert rescue personnel, treat package, extracted him. Okay, so lots of lessons learned. Not to shame or anything, but I think we've already been clear about some of the conditions that were icy. Sometimes, like if those girls camped overnight, those women, I should say, they should probably take stock of the iciness of the situation and know that the sun will change the condition of the snow. And just stay off the steep right now. Stay off the steep, man. Stay off the steep. So that's a lot of money spent and a lot of people who put their life in danger. His teams are like, heroic. They're working so hard because people are making mistakes. You can see someone in the basket down there getting hoisted out. Is the tech in the basket too? Looked like it. This person says North Shore saved their life. Hell of a pilot, says one person. Yeah, look, the tech is right with them, dangling below. Wow. Man, that's guts. How about that? Look at these people. Look at the steep country they're working in. Look at the conditions they're in, what they're having to put themselves in danger. You know, that's the thing. Your mistake that put you in danger also puts them in danger. The more rescues they have to do in a year, the more that they increase the risk that something will happen for them, mechanical failure or what have you. The list is long, and I'm just saying, hey, as it gets warmer and warmer, just keep in mind it's, everyone wants to get out there and get playing and keep assessed of the conditions. Be mindful of the water temperatures. Be mindful of the conditions of the snow. Be mindful of the mountain, the changing terrain, the fast changing weather. We had so many different kinds of squalls here today. The weather changes so fast. Be safe out there. Be smart. Learn from people who spend a lot of time in the mountains. Don't be too arrogant. Don't be too cocky. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Okay. Hit like, share, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you out there somewhere in the wilderness, my friends. Okay. Bye now.